What's going on, y'all? This be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday morning, and I intend on doing the exact same. What's going on, y'all? Now, before we get into today's mess, let's talk about what we have coming up on the horizon. Now, as you guys already know, today is Tuesday, which means that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta will be airing. And you do know that there will be an episode of Roast Review, but I don't know if it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday. It's more than likely going to be Thursday because I have to work late on Wednesday. So we'll be doing Roast Review probably on Thursday night, and it will be on Giving. No, it'll be on Josiah's platform on Thursday. So make sure you guys tune in to the Roast Review as we talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So with that being said, that's pretty much all that we got for the church announcements at this particular point. So let's go ahead and get into the mess. Now, for today's mess, we have a little bit of some Real Housewives of Atlanta tea, and it's all coming from the bscott.com. Okay, well, love bscott.com. And apparently, there's an exclusive story that's being put out there basically stating that the Real Housewives of Atlanta reboot is in the works and their production is demanding fresh new peaches after a disastrous season. And this is coming from lovebscott.com. Okay, so let's get into what the story is reading and saying. Okay, now it says, out with the old and in with the new. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is all but officially getting a complete makeover. Sources exclusively tell lovebscott.com that production made the call to recast the entire show at some point during the taping of the season 15 reunion. A source close to production tells us that Bravo was beyond thrilled with the reception of the recently rebooted Real Housewives of New York, so they're fully on board with production's decision to recast the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The network is also pleased with the upcoming seasons of The Real Housewives of Potomac as well as Married to Medicine. Casting for fresh new peaches is already underway. We're told that production has been quietly reaching out to managers and agents looking for new girls. And there's also no interest in bringing back any old faces either, not Portia Gobadia or Kim Zolciak, okay? While production is looking for all new peaches, it is possible that one or two peaches stick around as friends, similar to the revamped Real Housewives of Miami. It all depends on how casting goes. It's possible that the Real Housewives of Atlanta could go on a brief hiatus to give them extra time to just get the casting right. And we previously reported that the Real Housewives of Atlanta has been notoriously difficult to cast, okay? Which is the only reason why a few current housewives have gotten peaches in the first place. Both production and Bravo are concerned with fan feedback that this has been the worst season of the show in a long time, if not ever. Production sources tell us that several of the later episodes were re edited to try to make an entertaining show and not to show favoritism towards any one cast member. Kenya Moore has been very vocal about production allegedly cutting her storyline and editing her salon event out of the final episodes. But our sources say that Kenya's event wasn't shown because it was dry and nothing happened, even with nearly the entire cast in attendance. Okay, as previously reported, real Kenya's Real Housewives of Atlanta's salary is quite hefty, and Candy Burris is the highest paid housewife across all franchises. The network could get an entirely new RHOA cast for less than what they pay either Kenya or Candy. To put it into perspective, both ladies are making around $100,000 per episode. The entire cast of the Roni reboot are making around that for their whole season. That's just one more reason as to why production and the network are down for rebooting the show. With rumblings of a new RHOA making the rounds, we wouldn't be surprised to see more of the ladies airing out their grievances on their way out the door. As always, we here at lovebscott.com will keep you posted on the latest and not so greatest tea coming out of Atlanta. The barely two-part Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion starts airing this Sunday. Will you be watching? So that's pretty much the gist of what we got going on with this tea involving that there's going to be a reboot of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they said that there may be two peaches that will be sticking around as friends, just depending on how the cast is going. Now, let's be real. There needs to be changes to the cast. We do need to be honest about that. But a part of me still feels as though the cast is not necessarily the problem. It's mainly production. Now, when you're saying that the cast is going to be completely rebooted and that only two women will stick around for Peaches, stick around as friends of the show, I do feel like the two people that are going to stick, that they feel like should stick around for friends of, is Candy and Kenya. That's just what I think. I don't see them getting rid of Drew at all. But as far as like Sonya and Marlo and Sheree, I do think that those three are on the chopping block. But when it comes down to keeping people around as friends of the show, just to see how it will work with casting, I definitely see is Kenya and Candy. But I definitely don't see Kenya taking a friend of role. To be quite honest, I can see Candy doing that mainly because they give her more time to do other things that she's been doing, like run her restaurants, producing these plays and doing things like that. So I can honestly see one of them being promoted down to friends of. But I definitely don't see them getting rid of Drew. I think that Drew brought in the most storyline, whether it was real or fake, of all season. Okay, she had her issues with her husband. She was going to therapy with or without her husband. She had issues with Marlo. She had issues with Sheree. She had issues with Candy. And I feel like, and I heard that Candy and Drew got into it some proper like at the reunion this season. So we will see all next week, next weekend when this stuff goes down that, but I don't see them getting rid of Drew right now. And she got the first seat. I don't see them getting rid of Drew anytime soon because Drew does bring a little something to the show. And I know a lot of people really don't agree with that, but the girl does bring something to this damn show. And it's just real. She does. We may not agree with it. We may not even like her too damn much. But at the end of the day, she does bring a little something on the show. She's one of the only newbies that's been able to move past their second season. Sheree, as far as she goes, she needs to go. I'm not even the type of person that wants people to lose their jobs, but I think that Sheree brings nothing to the show. I think that she's a dead person. When I say dead, I think she's completely annoying. I think that she's boring, and I don't think that she's a good fit for this show at this point in time. And I get that they want to have one OG still on the cast, but Sheree just don't fit the bill for me. She's not an anchor. She doesn't do her job as an anchor, and I feel like as an anchor of any type of show, you have to have some type of influence over the cast, and in a sense, as far as not being production pets or being, nucleus pets, if you will. But I do think that she could have been able to be the mother hen and facilitate all of the sit downs with everybody, being that they was trying to push Sheree into being an anchor, and I don't think that she really has it to be one. Marlo, on the other hand, she's fake phony. She doesn't really bring too much, and she makes manufactured drama and makes things come out of the woodwork. So that's the only reason why I feel like she should be recasted. Sonya is a different story. I do think that Sonya should stay. I do feel like she has a real story to tell, and I just want her to tell more of it. I'd rather see you, deal with the fact that you had a miscarriage, but you're pregnant again already, and I want to see that dynamic. I want to see that. Then you got the family drama that's going on in your life. Like you're giving storyline that we probably would have seen on this show probably 10 years ago, which is the good thing because you're trying to take it back to the glory days. And that's how I feel. So I'm not really for certain about Sonya leaving the show. I honestly don't think that she should. The only two people that I think should probably stay if they're not being friends of is Drew and Sonya. I really believe that. Now, Candy and Kenya, like I said, I feel like if they're going to get rid of them, they need to, if they, well, not really rid of them, if they're just going to be on the show as friends due to their high salaries, I do think that Kenya and Candy should fit their role as friends, but I don't think that either one of them would accept that. So out of everybody, if we have Candy and Kenya as friends of the show, I do believe that Drew should stay out of everybody. Drew should stay, and Sonya is a second place person. I just don't think that Marlo should be there at all. I think that she's a vile, disgusting human being, and she don't need to be around. Sheree, she doesn't really bring nothing but collect calls and bounce checks. That's all she brings. So I'm not really sure exactly what Sheree could bring. But they're saying that everybody's fired at this point, and it's very interesting enough to find that out as time goes along. So, with that said, how do you guys feel about a complete reboot of the Real Housewives of Atlanta? I don't think they should do a complete reboot. Maybe chop some people off by the neck and bring more people on, and keep some familiar faces. Like I think that Candy and Kenya should stay. I also think that if even if they have to be friends up to free up the budget, I don't mind them staying. Drew should stay and Sonya should stay. But it's really Sheree and Marlo that I'm really worried about that's gonna give us some fucked up ass television because that's what she normally does anyway. So we'll sit back and watch what's going to go down with that. Okay. So with that being said, y'all, this be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out here. And until my next video, I will holler at you guys a little bit later. Bye, y'all.